ZELENSKY, publisher of Yankee News, coming to you not from the Parkway Diner this time, but the even more world famous, and that would be true, Curly's Diner in Stamford, Connecticut. Bit of a madhouse up there at the Parkway Diner tonight, so we have changed our location to the other studio. Now, I just want to remind you, definitely go to our website and check it out. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Still trying to grow our numbers as we always do. As for TONG time, that would be our Connecticut Attorney General, William the Phony Tong. Yes, Pam, that's Pam Bondi, should be announcing your name any day now. Any day now. And we want to remind you, free Tina Peters, okay? So the good governor of Colorado still needs to hear from us. How's that look, Eric? Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so take a picture of it and definitely let him know that you have him in mind and you want Tina out. She's asked to be released soon for medical reasons. They should be honored. So there you go on that. Okay, meantime, before I get to the theme, I have a homework assignment for you, the audience. Yes, I have a homework assignment, you lucky guys. All right, when you have time, you need to make a fraud map. So let me tell you what I'm thinking about. The fact that we know that we're discovering all sorts of fraud in the federal government. We had no idea. So the tentacles of this really start with USAID, but then all the other federal agencies have their own roles in fraud as well. So you have these international connections, but then, to who? All right? And then we have suspicious relationships, such as how drug cartels have interacted with government officials. So there's some fraud in there that we should be checking out. Dare I be more specific and bring up the captured elites who are honoring the interests and whims of the Communist Chinese Party. There's another realm of fraud, okay? And there's more, but it is so complicated, so multi-layered, I said, I need to make a map. It got a little complicated, so I'm putting the challenge to you. Anybody out there have an idea of what you would like to make as a fraud map? Just submit it to us. Okay, so there's that. Meantime, let's move on to the next thing. All right, our theme is the dangerous time is now. So Steve Bannon made this point at CPAC a few days ago, and just recognizing that while in this month and a half that Trump has been in office, we have managed to accomplish quite a few things. Those who are opposed to him have also managed to accomplish quite a few things. Will he ultimately prevail? We want to think so, but the fact of the matter is there are other people who are going to fight and keep on fighting against him. So the problem here is that as we press against them, these liberals will become more and more like cornered animals. And it's not just that there's a bunch of them, there are certain ones, okay? And the ones I want to bring to your attention are the likes of Andrew Weissman, Mark Elias, Norm Eisen, Victoria Nuland, and many others, okay? These are the people who eat, or sleep, and dream how they're going to get rid of Trump. They meet, they talk, they plot constantly. And it's possible they'll come up with creative answers, so we should be concerned about it. And my comment is we need to make noise. We need to remind them that they are being watched every minute of every day. They're not going to be fooling us. No, sir. All right, so here, I just got to go through this stuff here. There's so many things. Oh, my God. Also, I just want to throw in another comment. Steve Bannon made another comment today. He basically offered that between what's been happening with Ukraine and Russia, these other appointments for Trump, plus what's been happening with Doge's work and other developments today, Monday, February 24th, the year of our Lord 2025, will go down as an important historical moment. So mark that on your calendar. as we learn more, time passes, and we look back, we will realize that the events of this day were effectively seminal, okay? Now, let's see, in no particular order. Okay, here's the next problem. Maybe you heard about this, maybe you didn't, but, you know, what are you supposed to think? When Doe shows up, it's the U.S. Marshals and whatever it is, I guess it's part of Treasury, the U.S. Marshals, whenever, or the FBI, when the government would raid a drug dealer who happened to be dealing in Bitcoin, they would confiscate the Bitcoin. And so, of course, over time, the federal government has become a major holder of Bitcoin. Those responsible for maintaining it would be the U.S. Marshals. Well, guess what? They have no idea where the Bitcoin went. What? That's right. They have no idea where the Bitcoin went. We're talking about billions of dollars of Bitcoin. Is this lousy record keeping, or was this a scam? We don't know, but we've been alerted. You've been alerted, and you get to pay attention. And I want to point out to you that there's a story that goes back several years. And here's the headline. FBI admits to stealing Silk Road Bitcoins seized by U.S. Marshals. Okay, well, that doesn't, there were two agents, they got caught. I hope they're in jail, I don't know. One was named Bridges. And yeah, they got caught. So they can't be trusted. So what else is new? All right, so the other part I want to jump on here. And so in this context, there's a great article. I put up the link on this. Here it is. The administrative state is so corrupt. 19th century patronage system looks good. So the article compares how the civil service operated before Woodrow Wilson showed up and tried to, quote, professionalize it. And what has happened since then? So there's one point here I just wanted to grab for your benefit. Hold on. Okay, the corruption that was present in the patronage system back then did not, like today, go international with its malfeasance, largely due to how the system worked and the country's non-interventionist foreign policy. So there you go. I think that's a critical point. Meantime, Epoch Times wanted to remind us that the Chinese hackers have so far compromised organizations in 70 nations. So these hackers, Chinese hackers, have been quite busy. But here's the other thing. You know about the gold issue that's been going on. I call it the gold wars. What we're looking at here is the beginning of an international gold war. And there are more features to this than meet the eye, and especially when you start to look at the recent history, then you go, oh, who knew? Okay, right now, the hot item is that we don't know, there is a rumor, that in Fort Knox, there's no gold. Wait a second, we're supposed to be storing gold in Fort Knox. What do you mean there's no gold in Fort Knox? It's just a rumor, just a conspiracy theory, but both Elon Musk and Donald Trump have indicated that they're going to pay a personal visit to Fort Knox, and they're going to check each of those vaults, I think there's 7 of them, to make sure the gold is there. So cynical me says that there's a connection between the problems that the Bank of England has had with fulfilling certain gold orders, plus the gold that's coming from the Bank of England to America, that might be quickly finding its way over to Fort Knox to fill up those otherwise empty vaults. So he'll get there just in the nick of time. Just saying, okay? So the other thing to note here is that while this is going on, there is another announcement that Chinese government, has accelerated its pace of gold buying. However, there's another part to this story, because if you go back a few months, you'll find out that especially young Chinese have been making a big deal out of owning physical gold. And what they have in China are what they call gold beans. So this is the popular way of buying gold by those who are younger Chinese. So you have the domestic demand in China for it. You have the government wanting to buy more gold to back up its own currency, presumably. Meantime, you have the problems with the Bank of England, and we have the problem with Fort Knox. What else are we going to find out? All I can say is stay tuned. So I don't know if you have to bleep this, Eric, but here we go. The announcement I put in the news is Denmark shits a brick. Yes, they did. It seems that, I want to find the key phrase here. They had, all right, the easy part is that they finally got religion and said, yes, President Trump, we're going to increase our defense expenditures to approach the 4 to 5% of our GDP target that you were calling for. Fine. However, to do that, here's the hard part. Denmark has to increase its defense spending by 70%. Okay, on the one hand, you say as a function of the GDP, it's not much, but as a function of how much they need, it's 70% of what they're currently spending. So they have to make a serious commitment. Okay, and the article makes the point, this is where I'm suggesting Denmark is shitting a brick, is that they're driven by fears that the Russian military is expanding. Is it true? It's not the impression I got. We could have a whole other discussion on the state of the Russian military. So, but there you go. Meantime, there has been, of course, the election in Germany, and people are going, oh my, look at this, the conservatives seem to be holding sway. You had the Christian Democrat Union and the Christian Socialist Union, which are considered conservative in Germany. Okay. So in the election, they won 29% of the vote. AFD has 19.5%, and they gained they almost doubled what they had from the previous election. So we look at this and say, well, the CDU and CSU are thought of as conservative, as is the AFD. Now, there's just one weird thing about this, and I have to show you the map, okay? Look at this. Okay, the black, that's CDU, CSU. The blue, that's blue, don't see it? What do I gotta do?
Well, no, I know, but.
Where I gotta go?
Black is bad, blue is good, what?
No, they're both considered conservative to AFD, you know, is much more concerned about immigration, but they're both considered relatively conservative, at least by European standards. Okay, the problem is, if you remember the history of Germany, the blue corresponds to Eastern Germany, and the black corresponds to West Germany. What the heck is going on here? Well, I don't pretend to have an answer, but I want to point it out to you. So I kind of feel that this map might be a little bit misleading. I hope to learn more and explain it, but you know, you have the little green dots, that's the Green Party. You can see those there. And then the red dot is another party called SPD. Yeah, anyway. All right, so the problem right now is we think, oh, gee, great, conservatives are going to take over. Well, not quite, not so fast. In the opinion of many, these people, at least the CDU, CSU, because they've said we're going to bypass AFD and work with the center-left group, they're going to continue the deindustrialization of Germany, which blows my mind. What are they thinking? Okay. Well, anyway, stay tuned. We'll see what the story is. Meantime, another problem in Europe, Bulgaria. Whoever pays attention to Bulgaria? Well, it's time to pay attention now. They have been planning for some time to use the euro as part of their system. There's been lots of planning, a lot of discussion, but it didn't matter, because as soon as the announcement came out that it's time to convert to the euro, yep, you had people out in the street protesting and complaining, bitterly, bitterly. All right? So it's called Stay Tuned. Now, there's another thing. There's been excitement. Microsoft, okay? They have developed what they think is the breakthrough in quantum chip technology. And I'm still researching it, but I think I can explain the basic idea. So how am I doing on time, Eric?
You got about 2 more minutes left.
Oh, no. All right,
2.5.
well, 2.5. All right, well, all right. What am I?
Quantum computing.
Yeah, okay. So the 30-second lecture is that, quote, conventional quantum computing is based upon extracting information, in one case, from an electron, which is spinning at an incredibly rapid speed, although the concept of spin, we'll get into that later, done at extremely low temperatures that slow the spin down. Even with that, you still have a high error rate. You have all kinds of chaotic phenomena going on where you're trying to extract information for a qubit, all right, for a quantum bit as a computational unit. All right, so Microsoft found a way to kind of direct and control some of that chaotic energy, and the term for it is topological conductor. So, I mean, there's a claim they came up with a new form of matter. That's a stretch, but that's what they do. So the idea is this. Think in terms of a sheet of paper. You have water flowing down that sheet of paper. And now what you do is you kind of bend that paper a little bit and you constrain the flow of the water. You tighten that stream up a little bit. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my understanding of a topological conductor. So there you have it as far as that's concerned. Meantime, what is the other thing here? Bear with me. All right. So Chinese equipment showing up in American hospitals. Of course, the first concern is if you've got chips made by Huawei in that equipment, it's possible that information is being transmitted from there to some other place and ending up, that's right, with the Communist Chinese. Boy, that's one conspiracy theory that just never goes away. Of course, there are quality control concerns with equipment made in China that's for, quote, mission critical uses in intensive care units and other places in hospitals. So I don't know why people are waking up now to this, but okay, you're waking up to it. Good. So let's fix it. And oh, by the way, I just want to remind all you corporations out there, get out of China, get out of China, get out of China if you know what's good for you. And I think President Trump will be providing some incentives as well. Okay, Pam Bondi's work continues apace. We're going to see her taking on more and more challenges in the coming weeks. And the big one that I'm waiting for is where she's going to lay down the law on all the election fraud that was committed in 2020. When she gets that investigation going, I'm going to start to breathe a little bit easier, just saying. Okay, so again, I want to remind you about Tina Peters. I'm going to put this up again. In the meantime, I'm done for now. Until next week, you guys. All right, hope to see you soon.